other hobbies if you really think that deep
Well,
about special teams.
I don't know about that.
But look, Greg Joseph's had he's been one of the brightest stars of all training camp. Last year,
This is part 2, by the way. I don't know why the first video didn't have audio. I think this wasn't like signed up or signed in or whatever. Anyways, let's watch it.
We don't know what he's about. We have not a lot of confidence in him. He comes out, has a great year last year, and he has been booming the ball all of camp, even from 60 yards. So I want to see, can he continue this hot streak that he's had here in training camp and do it in a real game?
Well, Ben, first of all, you look fabulous. Welcome to 2022 and this whole new era. I mean, I think you're bringing in 2022 looking like you did when you played. So I don't know how you're doing it, but Father Time's good on you, my friend.
When's that?
Well, thanks a lot, guys.
All right,
excited, man. Can't wait for this game to kick off.
All right. Thanks so much, Ben Lever, out at Legion Stadium. And you guys, what I really loved was while he was talking, we got to see what we were talking about a little bit earlier, right, with Kevin O'Connell hugging everyone, and you could just see the joy on his face, so that was kind of cool.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's an exciting time for him. He should absolutely embrace it. I mean, he's waited a long time for this moment.
All right, we talked about the competitions, and Ben alluded to it too. Let's start first with the tight competitions on offense. And we all know with Irv Smith Jr. out, tight ends have got to step up. I feel bad for the guy, first of all, right?
Sure, yeah.
Hopefully he'll be back week 1, but it's not going to be up until then. So, Ron, let's start with you. I mean, what do you want to see? A lot of people are saying, hey, Zach Davidson, he's super tall, he's super fast. What do you like?
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. Irv Smith Jr., we know it's his show. So what I want to see is, because you're not going to see what Irv can do. You're not going to see another player. So I don't think there's a name on this roster that can do what Irv can do. At 245-odd pounds, 6'3", he plays like a big wide receiver. He reminds me of like Sterling Sharp, Shannon's brother. He plays like a bigger wide receiver. And so with this offense, when you look at how many different move positions Kevin O'Connell has, I'm looking forward to Irv. I think the other guys, we need to find a guy who can block and who can run some middle screens, because that's where I think that second tight end is going to be used. And so we'll get a chance to see it tonight because he's not even playing. So from the start, we'll see who that tight end 2 can be. I'm a little bit upset that Kyle Rudolph didn't come back, but I get it. You don't want to kind of give Irv a weird shadow, but, let's move on from there.
Here, each guy brings different talents, though.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And when you talk about Johnny Munn, who's been making a lot of plays during training camp, a guy who just goes up and gets the football, a guy with size, a guy with strength, coaching staff is very familiar with him as Johnny Munn spent the first 4 seasons of his career in Los Angeles with the Rams. So they know what he's capable of. So it's good to have that kind of familiarity when you have a guy trying to fill in for a guy like Irv Smith Jr., a guy you feel that is capable of stepping in and making those contributions like Johnny Munn. I think he's going to have a pretty solid role on this team moving forward.
Okay, we sound like a broken record, but offensive line, right? Competition at right guard. Pierre, what do you see?
Well, I know that Jesse Davis spent the majority of his time in his years in Miami. He spent it playing right tackle. Last year in Miami as a right tackle was definitely the worst year he's had as a Miami Dolphin. Previously to that, however...
But it was Miami.
I know a lot. Well, and that was the other problem. In week 2 of last year, he got Tua killed. In week 2 against the Buffalo Bills, we had a guy come around the corner and Tua's ribs are busted, and he didn't see him again until week 5 or 6 later on in the season. So it was definitely his worst year as a right tackle in the league. Switching over to guard, I think, is a little bit of a transition for him, but I think I like him better at guard than I do at tackle because he was serviceable as a right tackle down in Miami. He wasn't great, but serviceable at right tackle. So I definitely think he has that capability of being more than serviceable as a guard, especially when you have Brian O'Neill right next to you.
And Ryan, Ingram said he's only been doing stuff at right guard. He hasn't been trying to do interchangeable stuff. What do you like about that?
Yeah, I think he's the guy. I mean, when you look at LSU, what they breed, how NFL ready those players come out of LSU, I think he's just another input that it can be a part of this team. But Jesse Davis, like Pierre brought on, like when you look at